Hey everybody, I'm Mike DeSepoli and welcome to the Ask the Advisor Show, brought to you by Heritage Financial Advisory Group. This week in episode 95, we're going to talk about why you should keep calm and invest on. You know, in times like these where things seem uncertain, the volatility in the market is high, and people are kind of on the edge of their chairs wondering what comes next, we want to be your voice of reason, we want to be your voice of calm, and we want to give you a couple reasons here today why you should keep calm and invest on towards your financial goals. You know, anytime we see volatility, or what we call volatility is these wide, big swings in the market start to pick up, all the news and media pundits come out of the woodwork and they're selling fear and panic and uncertainty, and they're telling you how this is 2008 all over again and stocks are going to drop 50% and you should run for your lives and sell everything you own. And we could not disagree with that notion more. I want to give you a couple reasons why. So the first thing I want you to consider is the backdrop of the U.S. economy. Okay, the United States is the greatest economy in the world, and we are currently experiencing growth at rates that this country has not seen in the better part of 15 years. Second thing I want you to consider is the labor markets. Labor markets are extremely tight right now. We actually have a situation right now in the United States where there are more job openings than there are people looking for jobs. That is a great indicator. That is a great sign, because that means in order to fill those jobs, employers are going to have to raise wages, and we always love when wages are going up for American consumers. Third thing to consider is the confidence that American consumers have about both their personal financial well-being and that of the economy. When consumers are feeling confident, they continue to spend money, and when they spend money, it drives the economic expansionary cycle full circle. And the fourth thing I want you to consider is that bull markets, which is sustainable uptrends in the market, do not die just from boredom. Okay, they need a major catalyst to change from a bull market to a bear market. For those of you not up on the terminology, a bull market is a sustainable uptrend in the market that lasts for several quarters or several years. And a bear market is when markets pull back from their highs by 20% or more. So most notably, recent bear markets we saw in 2001 and again in 2007, 2008. So anytime the market gets a little shifty or starts to sell off a little bit, you have a lot of the news media pushing the narrative that it's time to panic because here comes the next bear market. We do not think that's the case, but why do the news media and these news outlets do this? Why do they push these narratives? Well, if you know anything about media, calm and stability don't sell newspapers and they don't drive clicks on websites. So they need to push panic and fear and get investors all upset and get their stomachs turning so they can drive clicks to their website and more reads on their news stories. We think this could not be further from the case right now. There is not any major catalyst in the economy that would mark the beginning of a bear market. Again, bull markets don't just die from boredom. Okay, we still think there is sustainability in this uptrend. We think the market is very healthy right now, and these corrections along the way, they're good for the market. We know they're not fun. They tend to be emotional for people if they don't have a plan, but this is necessary for markets to continue moving higher. We call these periods of consolidation, where the market sheds off some recent gains that it's made before it can continue to trek onward. So if you're somebody who's sitting at home not sure what to do, you're thinking about selling out of your portfolio, we would implore you to stay grounded, reevaluate the levels of risk that you're comfortable with. All right, maybe that's a separate conversation to have if you're starting to realize that you were taking too much risk on the upside and you're not comfortable with the risk on the downside. But this is when it's just of utmost importance that you have a plan, reevaluate where you're at. If you're 42 years old and retirement is 15 or 20 years off, you shouldn't even be paying attention to these gyrations in the market. The stock market is the single greatest wealth generator in American history. It always has been, and it always will be. So before you react, or you make these knee-jerk reactions because you read an article in the Wall Street Journal or you saw something on CNBC Market Television, we would implore you to take a step back, reassess what you're doing, reassess everything that you own, and see if you feel comfortable moving forward. Okay, this one day, 1 week, 1 month, or several months where markets get choppy should not define your strategy. They should not alter your goals, and they should certainly not move the goalposts on how you're navigating towards your financial goals. So this is our message to you, to implore you, keep calm and invest on. You're doing the right thing by putting money into your portfolios, your retirement savings, your 401k, whatever it may be, and some volatility in the marketplace should not change that. As a matter of fact, For those of you adding money, you should welcome this type of volatility because you're getting the opportunity to add money to the markets at cheaper prices than you were 3 weeks ago, 3 months ago, and what have you. And the last thing, just to put this in a little bit of context, guys, the markets are about 5% off their all-time highs right now. By no means should this be labeled a crash or a correction or whatever it may be that you read in the newspapers that you see on television. Okay, this is a normal piece of investing in markets. These are normal market cycles, and we would implore you, take the emotions out of it and help, keep your head down, stay the course, keep doing the right thing with your money. If you have any questions, if you know somebody out there that doesn't have a plan and they are just panicking right now, please, we'd love to connect with them. We want to make sure that investors are well taken care of, that they're doing the right things with their money. And it's times like this that we know it's increasingly difficult to do the right thing, but it's what you do in times like this that separate the good investors from the bad. So we thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you back next week for episode 96. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.